Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope so good. I am Madhavi. I am your social teacher. Welcome back to our Chanakya family. Congratulations to everyone for successfully completed 7th class. Welcome to new academic year. First of all, thanks to our management for conducting online classes. So everyone utilize this opportunity. Stay home, stay safe. See children, this is your social textbook. Today I am going to teach our history first lesson, where, when and how. In this lesson I am going to teach you about British periodization of Indian history and colonization of India and major developments in India under colonial rule, and finally the sources of modern history. Before going to the topic, I will ask you some questions. What is meant by history? History is the systematic study of past events. Is it right? Okay. Already you studying from 6th class onwards, sir. Right? Historical periods are divided by historians, ancient, medieval and modern periods. Is it right? In 6th class we studied about ancient period, and in 7th class we studied about medieval period, and coming to 8th class you are going to study about a modern period. Dear students, before going to the explanation, I want to tell you about a history maker. In your textbook, they given about Dinabandhu Mitra. His time period was 1829 to 1874. He wrote a drama, the named by Neel Darpan. In this drama, Neel Darpan, he highlighted farmers. In British ruling period, the farmers were exploited by Britishers. Britishers forced to grow indigo instead of food crops under Raitwari system. Raitwari system means the land revenue system. It was introduced by Thomas Munro. Because of this system, farmers are exploited by Britishers. These all are highlighted in his drama Neel Darpan. See here in your textbook the given flow chart. In this class we are going to study about which history? Modern history in India. The modern Indian history was periodization by James Mill, Hindu, Muslim and British. In this lesson we will discuss about periodization by James Mill, and again India under colonial rule. What are the political developments occurred, economic changes, social changes and rise of nationalism occurred in Indian under colonial rule. And we are going to study about sources of modern Indian history. First, who came to India? Europeans came to India. Next, Portuguese were the first Europeans came to India. Later, French, Dutch, Britishers. First they came for trading purpose. Later they set up trading centers in India. And English East India Company established in 1600 under the authority of Queen Elizabeth. They fought wars to gain control over India. Example, Carnatic War, Bengal War, Plassey War was occurred. They fought wars to gain control over India. In this textbook we are going to study about after the arrival of Britishers, what are the changes occurred from 18th century onwards. Already I said that in this class we are going to know about modern period, right? This modern period is also known as British period, or more recently the colonial period. Now we are going to know about British periodization of Indian history. In 19th century, British historians started writings about Indian history. At that time, Britishers showed little appreciation on Indian society, economy, and politics. There is no development in ancient and medieval period. At that time, ordinary people are suffered with cruel rulers. Sati, caste system, low status of women, this type of social evils are there in our society. Historians said that modern period of Indian history began with the establishment of British rule. Modern history of India written by British historians. British historians focused on British government general rule. They ignored people's daily life. They are not explained about how the movements spread, how socio-cultural transformation took place. The British historian James Mill, he wrote a book, The History of British India, in 1817. He divided Indian history into three periods. Those are Hindu, Muslim, British. Hindu Muslim periods were identified that Indian society growth were obstructed. In modern British period, number of changes occurred, such as urbanization and faster means of transport developed in this period only. Communication also developed. The British also took credit for our modern Indian historian James Mill view was supported by British administrators and historians. Those are called Anglicists. Anglists. I repeat once again, Anglists means the group of people who supported Mill's view. However, some of the historians pointed out James Mill's periodization. They argued that its periodization was based only on a rural's religion. It is not right to classify an age according to the religion of the rulers that at that time. It ignored historical developments in Indian society, economy, and culture. Previously, we studied that the development was occurred in British period, but here Britishers pointed out that they are not given importance to common people. Under the British rule, Indians are not have freedom and liberty. There is no equality. According to James Mills, economic growth seen in British period only, but common people did not get any economical growth. According to him, India was backward, unacceptable culture. Hence, they referred to the British period of Indian history as the colonial period. See here in your, it represents that a British family with our Indian servants. Now let us know about colonization of India. Colonization means one country ruled by another country. See here, our country India ruled by Europeans. Colonization means one country ruled by another country. That is known as colonization. James Mill said that most developments such as political, economic, social and cultural changes took place in a colonized country. This is called colonization. This process is called colonization. Our country ruled by another country. Our country is known as colony. Our country ruled by Britishers. No, that country is known as a imperialist country. Already we know about Britishers, what they done. Britishers exploited our country economy, and they got more benefits from our country, right? Industrial revolution means Britishers used modern methods. That means they started production with the new machinery. Europeans only first started this new machinery process. So, due to this new machinery process, production increased within a short time. So, they need control over territories for marketing the manufactured products. So, they occupied some territories. And raw materials required for the domestic industries. It is resulted colonization. డొమెస్టిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ మీన్స్ అంటే వాళ్ళ దేశంలోని పరిశ్రమలకి మన దేశం నుంచి ముడి సరుకుని తీసుకెళ్లేవాళ్ళు అనమాట. ద ఇంగ్లీష్ మర్చెంట్స్ ఫార్మ్డ్ ద ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ ఇన్ 1600 అండర్ ద అథారిటీ ఆఫ్ క్వీన్ ఎలిజబెత్. ఇట్ వాజ్ సెటప్ టు కండక్ట్ ట్రేడ్ ఇన్ ఇండియా. ఇన్ 1615 మొఘల్ ఎంపరర్ Jahangir allowed the English East India Company to set up the first factory in Surat. Later, Farrukhsiyar, they allowed the East India Company to carry out trade within the Mughal territory. This is about colonization of India. Next, in India under colonial rule, major developments. Political, economic, social and cultural developments are occurred in India under colonial rule. First, let us know about political developments. Significant political changes occurred during the colonial period. In 1757, Indian subcontinent was divided into several kingdoms and provinces, that means empires. Britishers ruled 200 years our country India. Over the next 190 years, they got control over large parts of India. Till 1857, the English East India Company ruled those. After the British Crown applied direct control on conquered territories. Another important development was Indians opposed British rule, and it was led by local jamindars, peasants, sepoys and tribal people. And English educated groups also involved, so effectively known as the nationalists. The establishment of constitutional, administrative, legal, military and political structure through which the British ruled India was also an important political development during a colonial period. Next, we are going to know about economic changes. Already I said that economic changes also occurred in a British period only. Land revenue system is important economic change in a British period. Land revenue is the important source of income for the government. British officials surveyed land and fixed land. They fixed very highest amounts, so farmers leading to hardship and frequently famines and rebellions. In the beginning, Britishers, the main items spices, calico and fine cotton cloth taken from our country India, and they sold in Britain. These items were great demand in Britain. Actually, they paid gold or silver for these items. Because of demand in Britain, they forced our Indians to cultivate opium, means in Telugu Nallamandu. Britishers exported this opium to China in place of tea. The main purpose of English East India Company was development of trading for England products. Our India became a full-fledged colony. We are not having control on them. So, Britishers exported raw materials such as jute and cotton to England for British factories. Those are in Scotland and Manchester. They are very intelligent, sir. They exported raw materials from India. They made finished goods at their domestic country, and again those goods are sold back to Indian at high prices. Overall, trade which had initially favored India became unfavorable. Due to deindustrialization, it is led to the destruction of traditional industries like weaving, pottery, iron smelting, and brass works, which often posed a challenge to British trade and manufacturing. This is about economic changes. Next, we are going to know about social changes. Some important social changes occurred during this period is in the beginning of the this lesson we studied that several social evils in the society such as sati, caste system and low status of women, right? In this period reform movements were led by social reformers Raja Rammohan Rai, Dayananda Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. British government passed some important laws. Those are the British government banned sati and encourages widow remarriages and prevented child marriages also and regulated education of the girl child. Another important social change was integrate tribal people with the society. Britishers introduced Western education system. We know about that. So Britishers required a large number of people to run different levels of administration. Britishers improved a traditional system of education, leading to the birth of English educated middle class in India. This class not only produced bureaucrats. Bureaucrats means government officials to serve the British rulers. It gave rise to some outstanding leaders of the Indian national movement. Next, we are going to know about Indian nationalism. Nationalism signifies a great love for one's motherland and a desire to liberty from foreign rule. Western education brought in ideas of democracy, equality, liberty, and nationhood, which inspired educated Indians to question the British rule. Educated Indians thought that it was the right of Indians to determine the manner in which they should be governed. The development concept led to the struggle for freedom. This is about development in India under the British rule. Next, sources of modern Indian history. The modern period of Indian history sources include both administrative and non administrative sources. First, let us know about administrative sources. The administrative sources are written records of British in India. Those written records are prepared by administrators, officials, and historians. Those are appointed by colonial government. Those are official records and surveys and mapping. First, we know about official records. These official records are a very important source. The Britishers believed that every instruction, plan, policy, and decision had to be written and recorded for clarity and as ready reference for quoting in case of a dispute. 300 collections and over 3,000 smaller deposits of private papers are mainly related to the experience of the British in India. The collection of such documents are called archive. These record rooms attached to administrative institutions. Those were set up by the British. These archives and museums also preserved records. Still, we can read these records at the archives. Calligraphists copied these documents and several copies were printed and handed over to each government department. Next, coming to the surveys and mapping, Britishers believed that before administrators, it could be know about that country. So they conducted surveys and made maps. They conducted surveys and made maps for administrative purpose. First they set up Dehradun, Uttarakhand capital, and Hyderabad. They get details about information about towns and villages, mountains and coasts. The maps help us to know about rural and urban patterns of settlement. They conducted village revenue surveys also. Every 10 years they prepared detailed records of number of people in India. Next, non-administrative sources. Administrative sources are written records. Non-administrative sources are printed books, biographies and autobiographies, newspapers, magazines, letters, pamphlets, films, photographs, paintings, artifacts, and historical buildings. These are non administrative sources. The collection of speeches delivered by Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose are the 100 volumes of Gandhiji's collected works are extremely important as they place the past events in correct perspective. And Dadabhai Nauroji book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India attacked the British government's economic policies and is an important source for the economic history of this period. Sharat Chandra Chatterjee and Munshi Premchand wrote about peasants and the downtrodden. These books helped in the spread of the nationalist spirit among the masses. Next, biographies and autobiographies. Biographies means someone's life written by someone else. Autobiography means someone's life written by that person only. Tarabai Shinde criticized the social difference between men and women. She was one of the most important writers. She wrote Stri Purusha Tulana. Next, one more important non-administrative source: newspapers, magazines, letters, and pamphlets. A large number of newspapers, magazines, and pamphlets were also printed throughout India. These are printed in different languages. We can get more information on various perspectives of society because it includes editorials, cartoons, news, and letters which throw light on various perspectives of a society. Miratul Akbar in Persian, it was published by Raja Rammohn Rai, and Kesari in Marathi, it was printed by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. These two are famous newspapers in India in early periods. See, this is an old copy of Kesari newspaper. This is printed by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Next, films. Films also an important non-administrative source. Films help in study of this period. Watching these films leaves a lasting impression. We are seeing these events with our own eyes. Sir Richard Attenborough's film Gandhi includes an actual newsreel of Gandhi's visit to Manchester. One more film, Achyut Kanya, belongs a love story. of an untouchable girl and a Brahmin boy. Next, the film Pathar Panchali by Satyajit Ray. It presents a realistic picture of Bengal's famine and rural life during the colonial period. Many such films are stored with the Films Division, a unit under Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Government of India. And next, coming to photographs, paintings, and artifacts, photography is art. It captures historical moments for posterity and facilitates a near perfect historical representation. Various statues and rare paintings, coins, and artifacts throw light on various aspects of society, culture, and economy. They show national leaders and great historical personalists. For example, paintings of Bharatamata in different styles reflect the progressive attitude of the Indian nationalists. See here, once observe those pictures. Next, one more important non-administrative sources was historical buildings. Many buildings of this period are still standing throughout the country. Indian Gate, Parliament House, Rashtrapati Bhavan, and Birla House in Delhi, where Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, are some famous examples. These buildings bear testimony to some of the important political developments of the modern period. And echo major trends in architecture. For example, Lutyens Delhi, an area named after its British architect Edwin Lutyens, is the best example of colonial architecture. Lutyens designed a number of famous buildings during this period. Finally, oral history. This is also important non-administrative sources. Stories told to us by our elders who witnessed the freedom movement firsthand and also give us a true picture of this colonial period. See here in your textbook they given Rashtrapati Bhavan. This is an example for historical building. This is comes under non-administrative